The International Press Institute and over 30 other press freedom and human rights organizations have raised alarms over escalating violations of press freedom in Turkey, with Kurdish journalists facing disproportionate repression, including arrests, censorship, and judicial harassment. PKK Executive Committee member Murat Karayılan has stated that only Abdullah Öcalan can convince PKK members to disarm. The Permanent Peoples Tribunal finds Turkish President Erdoğan and Turkish officials guilty of war crimes in Rojava. The head of the Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF, press centre, Farhad Shami, accuses Turkey of sabotaging peace efforts between the SDF and the Syrian transitional government. Learn more with Medya News. Press freedom violations in Turkey have surged at an alarming rate since the start of 2025, prompting urgent calls from the International Press Institute, or IPI, and over 30 partner organisations, including the European Federation of Journalists, or EFJ, PEN International, and Kurdish PEN, for the immediate release of arbitrarily detained journalists and the protection of independent media. Kurdish journalists have been disproportionately affected by arrests, censorship, and judicial harassment, signalling a targeted campaign to suppress critical reporting within the country.
Key developments in January 2025: arrests and detentions. At least 9 journalists were arrested, 5 detained, and 6 sentenced to prison. Judicial harassment. 23 journalists were investigated, while another was obstructed by police. Targeting Kurdish media. The Dicle Firat Journalists Association, DFG, reported 18 detentions and 9 imprisonments, numbers that reflect a stark rise compared to the entirety of 2024. The X accounts of Mesopotamia Ajansi, 264,000 followers, Jin News, 168,000 followers, and Yeni Yaşam, 125,000 followers, were blocked, while the Instagram accounts of Jin News and Yeni Yaşam were shut down on 5 January. On 7th February, Arta Gershek announced that access to their X account from within Turkey had been blocked under Article 8A of Law Number 5651, cited for protecting national security and public order.
Media outlets and journalists have faced the bulk of social media restrictions, with major accounts blocked or shut down, creating an increasingly hostile environment for critical news coverage.
Murat Karayılan of the PKK's Executive Committee has underscored Abdullah Öcalan's critical role in any disarmament process. Karayılan says that while Turkish officials repeatedly urge the PKK to abandon weapons, such calls will not succeed through simple announcements or one-off video messages.
Udbejim bira Öcalan bangi çakberdane biki. Gerku hatta ev kesi kuva ideolojiya çekiri. Ango reber apo bukha nekeve meyreti. Beva havalan ra naagfe. Tane banga ki be video nave. Berdayim naagfe. Ve çava ikna bibin çakberdane.
Karayılan also touched on the broader historical challenges facing the Kurdish people, describing the 15th of February, the day Öcalan was captured 26 years ago, as a black day. He described the bloody suppression of the Sheikh Said rebellion and the day Öcalan was captured as genocidal attacks on the Kurds.
او 15 سبات همان دمی سالوگر را صدمین یا رابونا حرکت شیخ سعیده 100 سال تمام دبه مروج بنرخینه 26 سالوگر را کمپلو روژا 15 سباته گلمه وکی روژک رش پیناسه دکه ربر اپو وکی روژا کرکرنه شیرووکر چونکه هم هندر دیروکه دا دم شیخ سعیدا هم دم ربر اپو دا ایرشی کرکرنه پیشکتن نه جه انجام تکوشین حیانا هاتی داین و ربرا بود خوازه هی سال اف روژا رش بکه روژا که در کتنک نو بکه روژا پنگا و آزادی آنگو روژا رش بکه روژا خوش روژا سپی روژا که نو که تیدا آزادی چه به
Karayılan, who revealed that state officials had met with Öcalan before the process began, stated that the PKK leader has long upheld his theses on peace and disarmament and remains adamant in this stance, adding that state officials have also made statements aligned with his position.
ربرا فوجی جخوا بره دا یعنی هینا نود و سسیان و ورده خدا نرینه که پیوسته یکیتیا گل کرد و ترک چه بوه سروک مهپ دولت باچلی ده پارلمانتو دا آخفی گو برا اوجالان وره پارلمانتو و با آخفه اشتا گور زمان وی گوتی یعنی برا چک برده و رخصنا خواه فس بکه تشتی وسا گوتن و درکتنه کی دولتی بو جخوا دورا ما فهم کرد که امرالیجی وسا هنک حیات دولتی چونه هفدیتنه یجی.
A panel of judges at the Permanent Peoples Tribunal, or PPT, on Rojava in Brussels has found Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan, and senior military officials are guilty of war crimes, crimes against humanity, and the international crime of aggression in North and East Syria, or Rojava. The panel examined incidents that took place between 2018 to the present day. The tribunal, convened at University Libre de Brussels by 9 legal and human rights organizations, examined evidence of Turkish attacks, forced displacements, and human rights violations. The prosecution team included renowned international lawyers from across Europe. Judges declared that Turkey's military actions in Syria amounted to crimes under international law, urging the international community to recognize the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, or AANES, and ensure accountability for war crimes. Farhad Shami, head of the Syrian Democratic Forces, or SDF, press centre, has accused Turkey of sabotaging peace efforts between the SDF and the Syrian government, alleging that Ankara intervened to prevent a near-final agreement on Kurdish majority areas in Aleppo. In a 6th of February statement, Shami claimed Turkey fosters chaos in Syria by supporting militias rather than building a stable military force. He emphasized that the United States remains committed to backing the SDF in the fight against ISIS and urged Damascus to recognize northern Syria's political autonomy and fair representation in governance. Shami warned that Turkey's ongoing interference threatens regional stability and called for continuous dialogue between the SDF and the Syrian government to secure long-term peace.